Hey everyone, I'm Mackayla, and today we're welcoming Leah Mason to the Soundtrack of Our Lives podcast. We're really glad to have you here.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so you recently put out your single, Midas Touch. How has that been received by the fans?
Honestly, I've gotten so much positive feedback on this one, especially like the writing side of it. And this was definitely one of the ones that I put in a lot of like time and effort into that side of things. So it feels really good, obviously, when you like put in a lot of you into
Hmm.
like a song and it's well received. So yeah, it's been really cool to like read through the messages and the comments and it's been a fun release so far.
What did the songwriting and producing process look like for this song?
So the song actually started as like a little poem in my phone, which is actually how a lot of songs I write start as. It was like just like a 5 line little thing that I
Hmm.
had. Um, and I knew it could be something, but I wanted to take it to the right people. So it would come out the way that I hoped that it would, and did come out the way that I
Hmm.
wanted it to. And yeah, it ended up being me, Sarah Bears, who's one of my close co-writers, and then Joel Malka, who's like a producer, Swedish producer. And I know that they care just as much as I do, so that was like really important. And it was not easy. It was definitely like a puzzle to like
Hmm.
figure out the song. I think it took us like 12 hours to write it in total. Um, but it was so worth it. I love it so much. And yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite, like lyrically on the whole project that I have coming. But yeah, it definitely took it out of us for sure, but it was worth it.
Yeah. So I was just about to ask you about the project that you mentioned that you're working on. I'm assuming you're talking about your album that's coming out, Hexed.
Yes.
What can listeners expect from that? Or what can you say about it?
I would say it's very close to my heart. I feel like it's like a time in my life over the past year that like I lived through. And I feel like this album was like cathartic for me.
Hmm.
Like it helped me like work through a lot of like anger and like things that I felt at the time. Um, and it's definitely like something I look at now and I'm like, wow, it's kind of like a time stamp of like
Hmm.
my life. But I would say I hope it's makes someone feel seen. I don't know, make someone feel like heard and valid in like their feelings because I know that's what I would have needed at the time that I was going through this stuff. So yeah, I really just want people to feel less crazy.
Yeah, I feel like everybody needs to feel validated in their emotions because I think that's something that we all forget about is that our emotions are valid and we actually have a right to feel the way that we do.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you mentioned already, I was going to ask about your favorite song, but you already mentioned that. So why would you say that Midas Touch is your favorite song on the album?
Um, like I was saying before, I feel like just the writing side of it, and I love that part of the song making process so much. Like it's very sacred
Hmm.
to me. So I kind of like when it takes like the work and the like getting it just right and like perfecting it. And yeah, I feel like it's a concept I haven't heard said in the way that we said it, which I feel
Okay.
like is always a hard thing to do, like something like actually original.
Hmm.
And like because there's just so much out there. But yeah, I feel like we said something in a way that I haven't heard it said, which is like a really hard thing to do, I feel like. So it's definitely like I'm proud of that one for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You should be proud of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you also mentioned that it's kind of this album is very personal to you, kind of going into, emotions that you felt. How do you kind of balance like kind of telling the story, but also kind of keeping some of it for yourself?
Yeah, I feel like I struggle to do that. Like draw the line.
Hmm.
Um, I tend to be very honest in my songwriting, and people always ask, they're like, "Do you regret that later?" Like someone knowing songs about them or like being too like open, and I'm like,
Hmm.
honestly, like no, because only like really me and the person know that it's about
Right.
them. Like no one else knows. So yeah, I feel like it's I like being as open and honest. I feel like that's where my best songwriting comes from.
Hmm.
When I'm just like being like brutal, brutally honest. Yeah, I mean sometimes it can feel like maybe slightly embarrassing. But I feel like it's for the better because I feel like the more vulnerable you are, the more actually relatable it is.
Yeah.
I try and just to be free with it. You know.
That makes sense. Have you ever had an instance where you've put out a song and then that particular person or people who are involved in that event have reached out to you about it at all?
Every single time. So I'm not really sure why I keep doing it, but I'm also like, I mean, we already knew the situation that
Right.
happened, you know? And also it can be, because also a lot of the time it's something I've moved past
Hmm.
from, but like I just like am writing a song about like a lived like past
Yeah.
experience, and I'll get like a text from the person like 5 years. I haven't seen them in like 5 years. And they're like, wow, like, can't believe you wrote a song about me. And I'm like, sorry, what to tell you. But I don't know. I feel like it's just the life of an artist, life of a songwriter. We have to pull from our lives, you
Yeah.
know? That's where like that's everything I write about is like pretty much a lived experience.
Hmm.
So, you know, it's something that you just have comes with the territory, I guess.
Yeah. And also, like, if you're not mentioning the person by name, as you said before, nobody else is going to know it's about them.
Exactly. So it's really fun.
Yeah. They probably just won't ever listen to the song because they're embarrassed, but
Or maybe they do. They like hate listen.
so how do you kind of get through when you're struggling to kind of come up with a song or ideas for a song? How do you kind of get your creative juices flowing again?
Yeah, I feel like whenever I feel creatively unfulfilled, I guess, you have to live life. Like you
Hmm.
can't just like write constantly or there's nothing to write about. So like I feel like you have to like step away and be like, okay, I need to like go do something. I need to like live and like see the world, like go
Hmm.
look at a tree or like I don't know, go do something. Because I feel like when I start to lose momentum is when I'm going too hard at a time. Like if
Hmm.
I'm just constantly writing without doing anything outside of it, it's like where's the creativity coming from if I'm not reading or you know engaging in something that I is like motivating me or like making my mind work, you know,
Yeah, that makes sense.
outside of just like the writing process. So yeah, I just feel like getting out and doing something is really like the biggest thing, or taking
Hmm.
like a mental reset.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's the best
Yeah.
thing, or what works for me at least.
Are there anything like any particular things that you keep feeling drawn to do?
Honestly, reading is like the biggest one. I feel like whenever I'm in a rut and I start reading, I automatically feel like more creative again. And I feel like it's
Hmm.
because like other people's words or like words I hadn't thought of or
Yeah.
like even just like descriptions of things that they'll like use in the book. I feel like I'm like, oh, that was like so well worded and like
Yeah.
I love that or something like or I love this word. I haven't thought about that in like a
Hmm.
while or blah blah blah, whatever. And also like other like people's stories
Yeah.
can be like inspiring or spark an old memory or something. So I feel like reading for me is a big one, which I know is very close to like songs and songwriting. So that might not be for everybody, but it works for me.
Yeah. Do you have any particular genres that you find yourself drawn to?
This is so boring, but like realistic fiction,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't know, like made up stories about people's lives. Like I don't know, I think that's so. I like realistic books. Like
Okay.
I like the mundane, which is like so boring, I guess. But I don't know. There's something interesting in like feeling like you like know someone's life like
Yeah.
intimately. Yeah, I don't know. That's my favorite. I know it's kind of boring. It's not like sci-fi. I That's not for me, but
I mean, it makes sense because it's similar to your songwriting style.
right. Okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you kind of like feel drawn to something that's like similar to your songs, but also not your songs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
And then, as you said, it obviously probably you're reading it. I'm like, oh, wait, I had an experience like this, or oh, I know, I did that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's more relatable, I guess.
yeah, because I mean, it's realistic. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
yeah. So with Hexed, you kind of ventured to Sweden to create part of it. What was that decision to do that like?
Yeah, it was really exciting. I had never been to Sweden before. But yeah, I met a producer here in Nashville, but he was from Sweden.
Hmm.
And so of course he's from Sweden. And we just like hit it off. Like I loved working with him. I loved his energy. He's so talented. And so yeah, I was like, we have to keep creating together or else I don't know what I'll do. I was like, I don't know what I'll do without you. And I just loved these songs so much that we made together. And so I talked to my publisher and my manager, and I was like, hey, like, what do you guys think about going to Sweden? And they were totally on board. So we all just went over to Sweden. It was like me, my co-writer, and my manager. And it was awesome. I had like the best experience ever. It was like 2.5 weeks or something. that we were there, and we basically made the whole album, other than like 4 of the songs on it or 3 of the songs, but we pretty much made the whole thing there, which is crazy.
That's really crazy. So do
Yeah.
you think you're going to be going back to Sweden in the future?
For sure. I loved it. I want to go back when it's warm too, because it was freezing when I went, and I didn't get to see much. People were like, "Wow, was Sweden?" And I'm like, I was in a studio the whole time. Honestly, wouldn't have even known I was in Sweden. But yeah, I definitely want to go back and like explore more. And then yeah, obviously when it's warmer outside because it was cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe in the next upcoming months we'll see.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Definitely can help get your creative juices flowing being in a new country.
For sure. I think that helped so much too, which is why we were able to like make most of the album there, because I was just like so excited to be there.
So you kind of said that you didn't get to travel or visit any places around. So did being in Sweden at all kind of influence the album, or was it mostly written beforehand?
No, I mean, being there, we basically made the whole thing there.
Okay.
And yeah, I feel like being in the new environment with like people that were so inspired. I mean, there was like Dua Lipa plaques on the wall, and like they were celebrating like Grammy nominations, and I was like, oh my God, you guys are like so talented. Well, how am I here right now? But they were just like so inspiring and welcoming and just so creative. Like I felt like it made the whole process so seamless. And yeah, they're like my favorite people to work with now. And I'm like, of course you guys are like halfway across the freaking world. But they come to Nashville a lot, and they go to LA for like weeks at a time. So I get to see them, but still, I'm like, you would be in Sweden.
I know, of all the places to find your team.
I know, but it is what it is.
So you said you kind of wrote the whole thing there. So you did you come with any inspiration or any ideas?
Yeah, so I knew I was going there probably like a month ahead of time.
Okay.
And I didn't expect to make the whole album there, but I definitely knew that I wanted to get like a good chunk of it. So, and I had ideas in my phone like over the months, and I just kind of like was picking my favorite ones and like the little poems, and like making Pinterest boards. So I definitely had like a vision before I went there of like what I wanted the album to be about, at least. And yeah, so I definitely came in prepared. I was like, this is what I want to write about. Some of them happened on the spot, with no like plan or anything, or no title. I didn't have anything, and it just kind of like happened in the room, which is rare for me. But most of them were like ideas that I had before getting there. So yeah.
And then, so you said you write most of them as poems. Is there any particular reason, or you just kind of feel drawn to poetry?
That's just kind of how I am, how I've always been. Even like as a kid, I would just write like little short stories or like little poems or whatever. I actually thought I was going to be an author when I was younger. I thought I was going to write books. Maybe that's why the books helped me so much. But then I was like, oh, that takes years. Let's just write songs instead. That takes like one day. So yeah, that's how I became a songwriter and not an author. Maybe one day, who knows? Maybe that will be like a future endeavor that I do or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. That's, if I have an idea, that's like naturally my instinct is just like go in my notes and like write a little poem really quick, and then like see what I can like turn that into later as like a song or whatever. But if I'm feeling like creatively inspired, definitely poem is like the first thing I go to. I think it's because I can do it quickly. I don't know. If I'm like sitting on a plane or like just laying in my bed, or I'm watching a show and something comes to my mind, I can just like easily write that down. I don't have to like pick up my guitar and like write a whole entire song. But yeah, it definitely helps with my like songwriting process, or is how I start a lot of my
I mean, maybe eventually you could put out a book of poetry of songs you never released.
That would be cool. Or even it is interesting looking back sometimes at how my poem was, and then like how the song turns out. Sometimes it becomes so different. So that would be interesting for sure. I would definitely, a book of poetry is definitely something I would look into doing one day. Or like maybe like a merch thing or something.
Yeah, especially if you're already always writing poetry. You probably have a bunch you've never used.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you can fulfill that childhood dream of being an author.
Yeah, I can actually publish a book. That would be cool. I know. There's definitely stuff I want to do creatively outside of like just the songwriting, like with the books and the poems and other stuff. I definitely have
what other stuff?
I love like visual arts too. I mean, this is like getting like deep into the thing of it, but like I would love to like be a part of like a movie or
Hmm.
something. Maybe not necessarily like as an actress, but like maybe like creative co-director or something, like storyline, or like write a script or
Hmm.
something like that, like more like behind the scenes, like the writing part of it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I would be into that, but we'll see what happens down the road.
So maybe eventually you'll see a poetry book and then a short film by you.
That would be a dream come true, honestly.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
How did you choose the songs to put into the album Hexed?
It was really like a storyline kind
Hmm.
of, a lot of it like intertwining into like that time period of my life. So a lot of them are like related to each other, or like tie into each other, bleed into each other's stories a little bit. So it really was just like this like little cutout of like my life at the
Hmm.
time, honestly. So I don't think I went into it with the intention of like, this is the theme, that it became the theme.
Hmm.
And then I was like, oh, this is very clearly the theme. So yeah, Hexed is where the album title came in and everything. But yeah, just feeling like sometimes, I feel like your early 20s is just such a time of like self-discovery and like seeing relationships for what they are, and like becoming an adult but feeling like a kid, and like all
Yep.
this stuff. um and yeah, so that's kind of where Hex came from.
Yeah. I mean, being in your early 20s is such a weird place to exist.
Yeah, like it's the best time of your life. I'm like, I have never been more scared.
Same. I'm like, well, I'm turning 23 in a couple of days. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm that old. Like,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
said it to my
You're
dad,
turning 23, I'm turning 25
and
this
my dad
year.
was like, I just turned 60, right? I'm like, yes, I know that, but I can still be scared about 2023. Like,
Wow, I know. It does feel scary. It does feel scary. It's true.
how has your sound evolved from where you started to where Hexed is?
Yeah, I feel like when I first started, I didn't really know who I was as an artist fully. I knew I loved like the songwriting process, and I knew I wanted to be an artist, but
Hmm.
I definitely was still in like the self-discovery phase of it all. And I'm so grateful for that. Like I also have always said I don't want to like confine myself to anything like specific, like genre
Hmm.
specific. And I feel like nowadays people really like do everything, which I think is so cool. Um, but yeah, I think I was so young when I like first started. Even like I mean, when did I put out my first song? I was like 20 or something.
Hmm.
19 or whatever. And now I'm about to be 25. So yeah, a lot changes over that. And then also like I feel like your 20s is when you change the most, like
Hmm.
in your life. I feel like you have like the most freedom. You're really discovering who you are, as a person. So I mean, I'm definitely different, just like as a person.
Hmm.
So I mean, with that comes like an evolution in like what you write about, and how you sound and all this stuff. So I feel like it's just natural though. Like anyone, like I'm just a person, and like I'm
Yeah.
just like growing up. I'm just changing. I feel like that's normal and should be normalized in like music too. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's just been my journey, I guess.
Yeah. Are there any genres you haven't tried that you want to try in the future?
I love R&B so much. I would love to do like a collab. Like, I mean, this like dream collab with like
Hmm.
SZA, or like Frank Ocean or something. Like, I love that world. Very inspired by it, musically and everything. So I would love to explore that someday for sure.
Can you share any interesting or behind the scenes stories from the recording process of Hexed?
Let me think. I will say there's a lot of lines in that song that didn't make it in, because I was like, this is too self-deprecating. I can't put that in. But it's really like poking fun at myself. I mean, obviously I don't actually think that I'm hexed, but it was like it was kind of like that, what other explanation could this possibly be, like other than someone's out to get me? Like, this is crazy that all these things are happening at once.
Hmm.
But it was really just like kind of poking fun at myself, like in like a comedic, like little bit of a
Yeah.
comedic way, but also like, how is this my life? Um, so there's definitely, yeah, a lot of lines that didn't make it. Maybe once I put the song out and the album out, I'll share some of the deleted lines that we had, or the graveyard lines, as we say. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that everybody can relate to. We've all had like, even if it's just a day where everything goes wrong, you're like, why is this happening?
Yeah. And it's okay to feel like that sometimes. I
Yeah.
know it's like I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of like, self like manifestation and like positive self-talk and like all this stuff. And I do think it's important, but sometimes you're
Mhm.
just like, damn.
Yeah.
Like it's tough out here.
You just gotta have those moments sometimes too. You just gotta feel that way.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's healthy to feel it and then like move on.
Hmm. Yeah, the moving on is the important part.
Yes, exactly.
Because if you don't move on, then you're kind of just stuck, and that's not good.
Right, exactly. Which isn't good. You don't want to be a negative Nancy all the time. But
No,
yeah, it helped me get over it. Writing the song helped me get over it.
that's good. So hopefully
Yeah,
listening to the song can help other people get over it.
yeah, for sure. That's the hope, at least.
If you could say like 5 words to describe the album, what would you say?
Oh, I would say honest,
Okay.
a little funny.
Okay. That's 2.
I would say, how else would I describe it? Very personal.
Okay.
Very me, I guess. I would say I think it's unique. I haven't
Hmm.
really heard anything like it. And hmm, okay, maybe like exaggerated emotions. It's like another one I would use to describe it.
Yeah, those are good.
Feeling
I like
everything
it.
to the extreme.
I mean, we all have to at some point.
Yeah, I know. That's how everyone that's like an artist or like a songwriter, I feel like we feel things so deeply, which is like a blessing and a curse because like,
Hmm.
we're able to like write our songs and be creative, but then like everything is like emotional turmoil. It's like can be a
Yeah.
lot, but
Yeah.
it's fine. It made this a whole album, so
Yeah. So it helps.
yeah.
So you've already mentioned like some of your musical influences, but who would you say are some of your big influences?
Ooh, let's see. I think Olivia Rodrigo is killing it. Also, Sabrina Carpenter is
Hmm.
like slaying right now. And I always thought her songwriting was really good. So I'm glad she's like having her moment as
Yeah,
like
she
a
deserves
pop
it.
star. Yeah, she deserves it. I love Harry Styles, obviously. SZA, huge one. I love Kacey Musgraves, so good.
Mhm.
I think her songwriting has always been so good, and her tone, like no one sounds like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are probably like some of the top ones.
Yeah. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
I say this in every podcast, but be yourself. And I know that's so corny, but no one is you. Like trying to be like someone else is
Hmm.
corny. Like just
Yeah.
be yourself. Like no one else is you. That's like the one quality that you can have over other people is that you are you.
Yeah.
So yeah, just trying to like hold true to that. And like I feel like the longer you're in this business, the harder it can be to do that. But I think it's really important. And like having like long-term success. So
Hmm.
yeah.
And then aside from that advice, what advice would you give to your younger self when you were just starting?
Oh, don't be so scared. I feel like don't take everything so seriously. Like it's
Hmm.
just music. Like
Yeah.
there's way bigger problems in the world than your music career. I mean, not that you shouldn't care, but I mean, just don't let it affect you so much. Like just chill. I would say
And
that.
yeah, that's good advice. What advice would you give to up and coming artists?
Ooh, probably the same thing. It's not that serious. Like,
Hmm.
like I mean, you obviously like you have to really work hard for what you want, but also you can't let it like be detrimental to your mental and physical health. Like, it's just music. Like we do this because we love it, or like because we
Yeah.
feel like we have to. Like, it shouldn't make you miserable. So yeah, I would say just make it like as fun as you can. Obviously, at every job, it turns into a job at some point if you're
Hmm.
making it your career, but like don't forget why you do it, I guess.
So if fans see you live, what can they expect from a live performance?
Oh, I think it would be so fun. Because I feel like it would, or my hope is that like the audience, we would just like get it. It'd be like the girls that get it. you know, like, and I feel like it would be like just like hangout time, like,
Mhm.
and just being like storytelling time or like relating time. I don't know. I feel like it would be so fun just getting each other, you know.
Yeah. Do you have any plans for any sort of like release parties or anything like that with this new album?
I'm not as of right now,
Mhm.
kind of discussing things,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Maybe I'll do like a Zoom. I could do like a Zoom party thing
Yeah.
or whatever with like fans and. But we'll see. I'm not really sure yet. I
Yeah, you
have to
still got
see what.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So before I ask the last question, was there anything else that you wanted to mention or talk about today?
Uh, no, I feel like we're doing a good job covering everything.
Okay. So the last question is, what is the soundtrack of your life?
Oh, like an album?
It's however you want to answer it.
The soundtrack of my life. Oh, I feel like, I mean, I don't know if this is like a correct or wrong answer, but at least for it right now, it was my album.
Hmm.
Like, or like it was like a true like soundtrack of my life. Like at the time, like things I was going through, like literally everything is
Hmm.
real. So I don't know if that's like a corny cop out answer, but I do feel like it's my album
But
for
there
sure.
is no right or wrong answer because it's your life.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So
So
that then.
yeah, awesome. So for anyone who wants to stay updated on your career and listen to your new album when it comes out, where can they find you?
Yeah, so on Instagram and TikTok, I'm Leah M. Mason, and I believe it's the same on X or Twitter, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And Threads, if you're on there. Haven't posted on there in a while, to
I
be
think
honest.
I feel like people were like into it for the first couple of days and then it's just kind of fallen off.
No, yeah, I was reading a thing about how it was like this, and then it was like this. So yeah, really TikTok and Instagram, Leah M. Mason. You can find me on there.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for coming and talking to me today.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.